Insiders are selling right now in AMD. What's happening? Read the disclaimer right here in the description below. And also join us to watch more content like this. Remember to subscribe. What I'm going to show you right now is that chart, an interesting chart I would say, about these planned sales by the executives of AMD. So, well, more than a chart, it's like an order, like a trading order panel. But the thing here is like we're talking about, like in some cases is there's like almost minus 4% of number of shares sold at this particular point by the Sully Sati, which is the CEO, president and CEO of AMD. And also we have other offices, Northern Forest, Eugene, a huge amount as well. All these selling orders were concentrated in this area, in the last update that started back in April 2025 after this huge downside. Obviously we all know why it happened, but at this point the situation is kind of different. And the thing here is like the selling orders are concentrated around here, and this is important because it's not the new highs, but we are close to that area. Actually the difference I would say is something like minus 15% from last highs, at the top of the peak, around here. So it's important to notice that they are selling. If insiders are selling, maybe there is something that is not good. So I'm gonna double check this with you guys. I'm gonna see, we're gonna see the fundamentals, we're gonna see the forecasts, because this is important, and the depth. The depth is also important in this one. So first of all, guys, let's load the net income, one of my favorite indicators, I would say. So the net income actually is kind of good, Look at the uptrend that started back in May 2023. At that time, it was like a negative number, minus 139 million. But from there, it started to go up again and again and again. And right now, we reached, nearly 900 million of net income. So the last time it happened, it was when AMD was trading in October 2021. $162 per share. Very similar numbers, I would say. So this is very interesting because when we talk about fundamentals and we compare that with the price action, there's a theory. It's like, if you have like the stock trading at one particular area, 160 in this case, and the net income was 900 million, and then 3 years later we have the same net income or very similar, and we're turning around the same numbers, the same price action, I would say 160 again. That's kind of fair, It doesn't happen very often. I see other cases which is actually the contrary, like trading the stock higher than before, but with a similar net income. This is not the case. So that means it's not overbought. This is important. We are not in overbought territory with this one. Obviously, we cannot compare it before because at the time it was making 60 million per quarter. But nowadays, AMD in the last 3 years, a net income of nearly 900 million. It happened back in 2022. It's happening right now. So it's kind of, I'm sorry, in 2021. So that's very positive. We didn't reach 2 billion, but, this upturn is very optimistic. Also, we're going to see the forecast because obviously this is the present and the past. And the past was good, because it's increasing. The present is also good. We're talking about the best results ever in this stock over the last 4 years. But what about the future? So we go to the future. We're going to see what the analyst from Wall Street, thinks. So what we have here is like 45 analysts. We have here like an average of more than nearly 20% for current levels. This is the vision that they have. And the most optimistic one, more than 43% from current levels. And the most pessimistic one, minus 12%. That's again, like a very not overbought vision in that sense. Because when we are in overbought territory, normally this chart is in red. That means that, the goal has been achieved in the sense, and there is no much upside potential. But here in this case, you can clearly see there is still upside potential. I'm very surprised they sold these insiders sold shares, because look at the estimate that we have right here, the EPS forecast and revenue. We're talking about the best result over the last years. Yeah, it's gonna happen. Look at the deviation that we have between reporting and the estimate. This is very important because it's kind of accurate. Actually, it's very accurate. So probably we're gonna see an EPS very near to the 1.17. You know, it's gonna be very close to that. And then we go to the annual. Wow, this growth is amazing. This is obviously this is not nvda, but in terms of the AMD in the compared to the past, this is pretty good. We're talking about that the EPS by the end of 2027 is gonna be 7.46. I mean, it's like almost double, or nearly double the amount in comparison to previous years. So that's amazing, and the revenue obviously is gonna increase as well. So probably maybe here they have to update this, but according to this, it's like by the end of 2028 it's gonna be worse. But at least the next 3 years, we're talking about very good financial results for the company, very good net income, which is very positive for investors. So right now, according to the fundamentals, this is just a correction. Now we go to the technical analysis part, and you're gonna see some differences. So first of all, guys, we're gonna load the volume profile, which is a very accurate indicator to say the next areas to buy and sell. I'm gonna see right here the volume profile, fixed range volume profile. I'm gonna, because it has been trading around these levels over the last 5 years. So I'm gonna pick, from 2020 till today, which is a lot. And look at that. Probably I'm gonna adjust upload a little bit right here. The point of control obviously is below because it has been trading around 110 a lot, in the past. But look at the areas that we have right here. We have also a lot of trading volume. So this is important. If we see a breakout about 180, it's gonna skyrocket because there's no resistance. It happened in the past in many other stocks. I see a lot of examples every day. When we see a lot of when we see like a very traded area, and we see like a breakout above that area, it starts to go up like crazy, because there is no resistance. There is no people wanting to sell the stock at a particular area because there are a lot of resistance levels at that area. The only resistant area that we have here is 226. Still, it's very weak, but as you can see, there is no trading volume around this area because it happened just once. So this is important. So we're gonna actually draw the line, and we're gonna draw an horizontal line around this area. So this is the first resistance level that we have right here that we had to cross, and we had to see all the areas because obviously this is the volume profile, but we had to see also the candles. I'm using the the volume candles. It's including the volume. And this is important because the bigger the candle, the bigger the volume. So obviously there is nothing special right here, at least in the daily candles, but still it's something that you need to consider instead of watching the volume below. So this is the first resistance area. The second one, just by technicals, we had to go right here, and this is probably the nearest one. It's 173. So if we see a breakout on this area, the next target will be 184. So, and then we have the last uptrend, and this is very important because look at this. It has been amazing. So obviously there was a breakout around here, which is not positive, at least for the short term. But obviously it skyrocketed too much. You're talking about like a rally of 100%. It has to correct some time, and when it does, it can take a while. So when to enter is the key, So right now we are in the middle of this correction. We have to draw lines as well for this correction. So the last correction that we have experiencing right now, here you can clearly see the resistance level. I'm gonna adjust it a little bit more. So if we see a breakout on this area, that's gonna be positive, and you can enter the position right here, obviously, with the proper risk management. But a breakout above this area is positive to think, that the stock the correction has finished. But there are traps sometimes, so you gotta be careful. Don't put all the money in one position because sometimes it does something like this, For instance, it does the breakout, but it was a false breakout, and it does a retest. So probably this could be a scenario that it could happen, like a breakout and then a retest below the current level, and then it goes up again, So and then there is another scenario which is to go down again and again and again. But for that to happen, we need to see bad fundamentals, and I don't see bad fundamentals. Actually, what I see, look at that. What I showed you before, with the best results ever for over the last 4 years. So that's very positive.
And what we have here, the estimate 1.16, you know, in comparison to 0.48, which is it was the previous quarter. We're talking about that it's gonna be great, you know. In terms of the forecast, it has to happen, obviously, but as I mentioned before, the deviation is very short. It's gonna be very close to the forecast that we have right now. So what do you think about this one? Do you think it's a good one for the long term or not? Leave your comments below in this video, and let's see together if AMD goes up or down. So bye bye.